Side quests. Side questing is what gives life a little bit of flavour. And the name is deceptive, and maybe it's to its advantage because a certain group of people who had control of the world wanted you to not find the true salvation of life and wanted you to keep grinding at work and telling yourself that, like, oh, must get this. You would never think to do side quests, which is where pure happiness lives. So I want to go through 2 examples of side questing that I've done and explain the art of side questing, because believe me, it is an art. It's something you feel. You do not do. You let it happen to you. Amen. Remember that. So a few weeks ago, my girlfriend, who lives in Poland, surprised me in the UK. And that was great. It was wonderful. But it meant that we had to come up with just some stuff to do. Live near London, and so there's tons to do in London. But, you couldn't really plan anything. And so we basically had a week of side questing. One of those side quests involved going to Camden Market, the richest place in the world for side questing. The trick with side questing is to not try too hard. If you try and control the world, you might be very good at it, okay? If you're very good at it, the best outcome you can get is the thing you imagine. Say, I want to control the world and I want to have, like, I don't know, say £1 million. I'm going to work really, really hard and I'm going to £1 million. Great. But you're never on your way to getting £1 million. Maybe the best thing that happens to you is that randomly out of nowhere, you get a bit of good luck, okay? Or the worst thing that happens to you is randomly out of nowhere, you get a bit of bad luck. And those are the moments where you really actually feel it. Like the things you cannot predict. And that is where, like, oh, that's where the good stuff is. So yeah, like, and you can't, like, if I was like, oh, I'm going to plan out like a perfect date week. Okay, what does that look like? Well, we'll go to this place and this place and this place. And very quickly, it becomes very like timetable-y, scheduled, and you lose all the substance, the good qualitative juice of life. And that is side questing. The qualitative juice of life in its most concentrated form. So we get to Camden Market, and one of the things that happened was that me and my friend, my best friend Josh, we are both males. I'm 5'8", he is 6'6". There were tops sold by Mohammed. There are about 3 men we spoke to called Mohammed in Camden Market, of course. And they were for girls. They were pink. They were cropped and small. I can show an image of them. And I thought it'd be very funny if we wore them on. Okay. This is the objective, like, logic-y stuff, okay? So let's spice it up a little bit. Why not? Let's barter with Mohammed. You should always barter if you go to Camden Market. They scam you so much. Another dude called Mohammed, we were looking at clothes items and there was like Stone Island stuff. And Josh said, like, oh, I wonder if it's real. I was like, of course it's not real. But before I could say this, Mohammed too, just quickly chimes in and goes, well, of course they're fake, brother, but very good fake. Of course they're fake. Of course they're fake. Like, everyone knows it. And so, yeah, you should always try and lower it a bit because they're selling these things for, like, I don't know, 500 million times the amount they bought them for. The profit margins are insane. These guys are, like, really smart because, like, it's just so easy. Yeah, so we try and, like, barter it down. These shirts were like £16.99. And the dude initially said, okay, but brother, I asked, can we change the price? And he said, no, can't change the price. They're £16. I said, well, they're not £16. They're like basically £17. But now we know the price can change. Let's talk negotiations. A little bit of time and a little bit of, like, trying to get Josh to not. The dude said 12. We got it down to 12, and I lied completely. I just said we only had £30 on us. We had a 20 and a 10, and we needed the 10 for food. And so the 10 was out of there. So the most we could do was 20. So £10 each for the shirt. Then Josh's like, oh, can we pay on card? No, you don't pay on card. You do not like give them an inch. Every time we walked off, he would call us back like, brother, no. And then trying to renegotiate the price. And at one point he pointed at my girlfriend and her friend. He didn't think we knew them. And he basically said, after you wear these, you can give them to girls. You can sell them for more money. And he did not know that we knew them. And I think his idea was, as long as we would buy if we could sell them again. And so then he began to try and sell the t-shirts to them. And so he pointed at me and said, brother, he famous. I am. The YouTube channel was doing numbers and still is. Unfortunately, Mohammed was one of the 80 subscribers I've accumulated. So glad he recognizes an internet superstar when he sees one. But yeah, it was very, very funny. And we got the shirt down to 20. We gave him £20 and Josh very kindly found 5p in his bag, handed it to Mohammed, did not give a fuck, threw it back at us. So that is bardzo dobrze. Very good in English for those of my non-Polish brothers. I'm not a Polish brother. Anyways, we then chuck these t-shirts on and take some pictures. Okay, so we've added a little bit of flavour, like stewed it up. But now, a little birdie creeps into my mind. What if we go up to store managers with a jacket on? Say, my friend, can you help me? Yeah. The market was closing soon. These guys they weren't having many customers, and they're probably a bit tired. And everyone likes to take the piss a bit. And then just say, I bought something and it went really, really wrong. And then and I love London. And then my belly button and just like so much of my, like, just plastered across my chest just to see the reactions. Oh my God, legendary. And this was an idea that you could not have planned for at all. And so yeah, say yes to life, and then awesome stuff like that happens. And another amazing example I had recently was I was feeling shit one morning. I felt awful. I was just like, get up with the day. You got to get up. You got to do stuff, because otherwise you just feel worse. And like, even if you maintained the same level of shitness, by the end of the day, at least you've done something. And my something was a few days prior to this day, I'd kind of eat an entire pack of chocolate digestives from my friend's house that his father wanted. And so I owed them a pack of chocolate digestives, because otherwise I am morally an awful person. You do not touch a man's chocolate digestives. So yeah, I had then bought a pack of chocolate digestives that were sitting on my desk in my room and needed delivery. So got out of bed, decided, well, if nothing else, I'm just going to deliver the digestives today, because that is something for someone else that I don't want to be a fucking prick. I need to give them these digestives. And I'm walking down there. And bro, it's a lovely morning. I was like, the rain, you know when it's like light rain and it just feels like you're kind of in an edit? Bro, it was like that. It was wonderful. Listening to some bangers, man. I like, the J. Cole album had come out. I'm like, oh, it's good. The Fall Off is here. And yeah, it was basically the best advice I can give for side questing is just do whatever comes to mind. So I was walking past a playground and I saw like this swing and it just looked the comfiest place to lie down. So I just went and lied down on it for a bit and just swung back and forth. That isn't like crazy, but no part of go from my house to this person's house to deliver chocolate biscuits, none of that was included. Like the swing was not included in there. That's like a little feature. My friend Josh also had a really good analogy for it. Like you have to have a Christmas tree, but then you can also add decorations. And the decorations is what make it sparkle. The tree of life. Oh my God, it all ties together wonderfully. The Christmas tree of life. Oh, turn your tree of life into a Christmas tree of life with side questing. There you go, that's a little soundbite. But yeah, then I got up out of the swing and just kind of kept walking. And I came to a point where I could go one way faster to his house or left down just a different bit. And if you think completely logically, you go, okay, let's go faster way to house. So you go the other way. That's a little tip for you. If you do not do if it gets you to the objective, you want it like slightly suboptimally, just do it. Like, because I had to get those digestives delivered. And that really was my priority. So for the next 2 hours, I walked past a river. I looked at the river. I wondered, I wonder if I can clean my shoes in that river. I then cleaned my shoes in that river and I got my feet wet. because I had them on. And then I thought, I wonder if I can put my feet in that river. This is a public river. But SideQuesting does not care for public spaces. Remember that. I then proceeded to take off my shoes and take off my socks and put my feet in the river. I then thought, I wonder whether I can stand up in this river. So I rolled up my jeans and I stood in this river. I then thought, I wonder if I can walk along the river. I then walked along the river. I then saw Big Stick, and I also saw rubbish in river. I removed rubbish from river with Big Stick. This gave me a 1.5 hour side quest and made my morning considerably more interesting. Life lives in the side quests, and man, you've got to get some side quest in it. It is the biggest thing that you just need to like notice stuff and do it. So much good stuff that I've done has come from side questing, and I think the biggest psyop potentially ever has been to the devaluing of the side quest, the labeling it as a waste of time, a distraction from what your main goal should be. You have one life. Your main goal should be to enrich your conscious experience of the world. And that is done with side questing, my friend. Have a good one. I can turn the video on with my hand now, by the way. So I wonder if I can turn it off if I just do this. Please? I don't think so. Maybe if I close my fist. Like another gesture. Nope. Well, I'll just have to do it the old boring manual way then. Have a good evening.